Hey, how is it going, guys? Welcome to this special video where I will be going over the Super League at the mid-season point at approximately 18 games played. I know I'm late with this video, and truth be told, it was supposed to be out 2 weeks ago, but I wanted this to be as perfect as possible, from my point of view at least. And hey, better late than never. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. First of all, I want to say I haven't had the time to do a Milan series this season due to a very compact PCN schedule with 3 game days a week, plus having to work overtime so I can save money to pay for my college semester, which starts next month. Anyways, I wanted to do this video for you guys due to the lack of media content in the league this season, for obvious reasons, such as the transition from the old setup to the new PCN. And by the way, shout out to the PCN admins, not myself because I came late to the party, basically when the website was 90% finished, but shout out to all the admins that put in hours and hours of work to get the new project running. And yes, of course, there are minor bugs on the site still, but the admins have been working really hard to make everything as smooth as possible for you guys. Now, getting back to the topic, I wanted to try something new and kind of give something different to you guys. We all play PCN for some type of recognition, whether it be team of the week, team of the season, or even a small shout out from someone goes a long way. And it means a lot to us players. Basically, we're trying to compete with each other and try to display our skills and talents and be recognized in the league for it. So the point of this video is, first of all, to review the league table and see where all the teams stand, and secondly, and I think more importantly, pick out the key players in their respective positions and come up with a team of the mid-season so far. And of course, the focus of this video will be entirely on the Super League. So let's start by looking at the mid-season league table. So here is the mid-season league table, and just to clarify, not all the scores were put in, hence the reason why some teams have 20 games played while some are still on 17. This video was actually shot when all the teams in the league were 17 to 18 games played, but my bum ass forgot to take a screenshot. So thanks to Perps for putting up a screenshot on the Discord at the 20 games mark. Anyways, here's the table, and at first we have Orlando. I don't want to say it's a surprise, but I have to admit, before the season started, I wouldn't have guessed they would be at the top at this point of the season, because they were simply not looking good and as sharp as they have during the season. I mean, they've scored an astonishingly 55 goals in just 21 games, while only conceding 16. Their attack has done a tremendous job of being sharp, and they have been destroying teams left, right, and center. In second, we have Benfica. Again, another team that I think a lot of us were not expecting to be having the season that they are currently having. They have been so consistent during the season, and I wasn't expecting them to be not only this high in the league table, but also be playing this good, almost neck and neck with Orlando. Again, 41 goals scored while conceding only 16 in just 20 games, and I think deservingly they are second. At third, we have LAFC, and I mean, wow, I think this team has been the biggest surprise factor this season. I don't think anyone before the season started was expecting them to be third. They've taken us all by surprise, and props to Scarata for motivating his guys to perform 3 solid days a week. He obviously recruited some great talent, and it shows in the way they've been playing, and their league position speaks for themselves. At fourth, we have Ajax, another solid team that I did not expect to be as high as they are in the league table. It's a whole new team compared to the last couple of seasons, and in fact, some of my guys from Milan last season have joined the team, and they've done a tremendous job of staying consistent. Before the season started, the PCN committee had this team to finish in the top 6, and I said they wouldn't make it, and boy have they proved me wrong and have done a fantastic job. So keep it up, boys, and finish the season strong. At fifth, we have Wolves, aka Cultivate FC, aka the Cultivation Train, another unlikely contender to be in the top 6. And let me remind you guys, they started with 5 or 6 losses in a row, and since then they've picked up form and shocked a lot of teams, including their huge win against Benfica 4-1. Whatever Prince and Polo are doing at Wolves, it seems to be working, and I think they have what it takes to maintain the form they're currently in and end the season in the top 6. At 6th, we have Juventus. I don't think this comes at a surprise to any of us. The way they finished off last season, I think we expected them to be kind of competing for the top 6 spot, and that's exactly what they've done. Props to Italiano. I know he doesn't play much anymore, but he's done a fantastic job managing his team and players off the field. And at 7th, we have Atlanta, one of the underperformers of the league that were really expected to push for the title this season, but things have just not worked out for them. I played with most of the guys on this team in the PCN World Cup, and they are fantastic players, no doubt about that. But they are obviously missing something. In my opinion, I think their problem is that they do not practice enough because of the time zone differences Most of the guys show up right at game time or sometimes even later, hence the reason why they haven't had the impact on the league like we expected them to. And at 8th, we have the reigning champions Leeds, formerly known as Young Boys, who are not playing like champions at all. Not sure what is going on in that team, whether they've brought in new players or what, but they're simply not performing to their level like they did last season. But they have 3 games in hand, and assuming they win those 3, they would be just 4 points below second place. So still plenty of games to be played for them, and a lot of eyes will be on them for the second half of the season. At 9th, we have Real Madrid, another underperformer. The way they finished the second half of the last season, you would expect them to be up there with Orlando and Benfica, and definitely not 9th. They had a rough start, and X and GOAT did make changes in the transfer window, which seemed to have worked in their favor, as they, I believe, have only lost once or twice in the last 8 or 9 games. So they are definitely picking up form, and it's a matter of staying consistent to squeeze into the top 6, which is what they will be aiming for at this point of the season. And at 10th, we have Monaco. I think Kaz will be satisfied where they stand. I don't think any of us was expecting them to be 10th and level on points with Real Madrid and Leeds. Kaz has done a good job. He's an active manager, and he's always making changes and making room for improvements. And I think it will be an interesting second half of the season for them. At 11th, we have NYCFC. You could say they are underperforming with the talent they have on the team. I didn't expect them to be this low in the table, to be honest. I really thought they would be up there in the top 6, especially with all the talent that Nico has brought into the team from the former leagues like ACL, VPN, and even from the PS4 side. We will just have to wait and see what they're capable of doing in the second half of the season, and if they can turn it around. Moving on, we have LA Galaxy, where I think they stand where we all expected them to be. They've had a lack of consistency. You know, there are games where they play their asses off, and then they have games where they'll butcher themselves. So I think they just need to find that consistency and find some form in the remaining games of the season and try to finish strong. At 13th, we have Manchester United, and I think that we all predicted them to be where they are. Obviously, compared to last season, they did lose some key talent, which is why I think we didn't expect much from them this season. So I think being 13th for them is a fair position. Oh God, moving on to 14th, we have AC Milan, and what do I even say? Well, first of all, let's start with the moment of silence for AC Milan. Everything that could have possibly gone wrong for us has gone wrong this season. We have problems everywhere on the field, and the lack of chemistry has been the reason for our downfall. But I gotta hand it out to my players for sticking with me even in the toughest of times. And some of these players being former champions and cup winners, it means a lot to me for them to have my back even after everything we've gone through so far this season. We are hoping to finish the season off strong, so we'll see what happens. And moving on, I think all the teams below 14th, we all expecting them to be where they are. Maybe not Arsenal, question mark. But yeah, obviously Valencia and City losing their managers early on in the season really hurt them too. And recruiting players in the middle of the season is one of the toughest things to do as a manager. Props to both teams to try to make whatever they can for what's left of the season. And that concludes the league table, and I wish all the teams the very best of luck in their remaining games of the season. Who knows, maybe we'll have a whole new story during the second half of the season. We'll just have to wait and find out. Now moving on to the second part of the video, and I think the more interesting part, where I will be picking 3 to 5 key players in their respective positions based on their form so far, and then finalize the best 11 and form the team of the mid-season. We used a unique strategy to come up with these players, and not just pick players that have the highest numbers, but we kind of wanted to emphasize on all the stats that matter for a given position. For example, if we take goalkeepers, we didn't just want to emphasize or pick out players that only had the most clean sheets or the least goals scored. Because if you play, for example, Orlando, who have only 16 goals conceded, and compare their goalkeeper to someone like Arsenal's, who have conceded 53 goals, it's quite clear that Orlando's keeper would have much more clean sheets and fewer goals against. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So let's start by looking at the most efficient keepers in the league. And also a huge shout out to CM9, who helped me correct the formula so that all the values and the weight of the values that we used in my formula helps us pick the best players in the league. So let's start by looking at the goalkeepers. The minimum game requirement to have been considered on this list was 12 games for a given position. We had some great players that had fantastic stats, but them having to play multiple positions took them out of consideration. Take me for an example. I had 8 assists, but I couldn't consider myself for any of the positions because I hadn't played enough games to say that I was a cam or a defensive mid or an outside mid. So with that said, let's move on to the most efficient players of the mid-season, starting with goalkeepers. The formula we used for the goalkeepers was as following. Each goalkeeper save is rewarded with 0.5 points, each clean sheet gives you a full point, and any goals conceded takes away 0.5 points. So based on this formula, I present to you the top 3 keepers in the league so far. Starting at third, we have Jack representing Benfica, one of the best keepers in the league. No matter what team you put him in, he'll be your most consistent player. After I calculated his stats, he comes up with a rating of 22.5 points. He's had an impressive season so far with 18 games played, 41 saves, 10 clean sheets, and only 16 goals conceded. And also, his saves to goals ratio is only 2.56, meaning he makes 2.56 saves per goal, which may not seem like a lot, but we are talking about FIFA here, and goalkeeper is the toughest position to play in Pro Clubs this FIFA. Moving on to second, we have GOAT from Ajax with an efficiency rating of 25.5 points. The reason he was ranked higher than Jack was simply because look at the amount of saves he's made, 63 saves, and his saves to goal ratio is a tad bit better than Jack's as well. Other than that, 5 clean sheets and 22 goals conceded. The first ranked keeper in the league so far is Isma from Galaxy with an efficiency rating of 27 points. He had the most saves, 73, compared to any other keeper in the league, and his saves to goals ratio of 3.17 was significantly better than the rest of the keepers. So props to Isma, he has been one of the star performers for an underperforming Galaxy. Now, moving on to the center backs, the formula we used was each tackle gives you 0.25 points, interception 0.25 point, a block gives you 0.1 point, a clean sheet equals to 0.4 points, and goals against takes away 0.4 points from the total tally. So let's have a look at the top 5 center backs in the Super League at the mid-season mark. At 5th, we have Pep from Leeds, one of the best center backs in the league, and his team may not be performing to the level to where they need to win the title, but Pep is doing his best to lead the team from the back, and his stats speak for himself. 1 goal, an assist, 13 tackles, 32 interceptions, 7 blocks, 7 clean sheets, and 8 goals, all in just 13 games, coming up with a total tally of 11.55 points, putting him as the 5th best center back in the league so far. Moving on to 4th, we have Wani from Orlando, and it doesn't come as a surprise to anyone to see this man on the list of the top center backs in the league. By his standards, he was probably hoping to be ranked higher, but with so much competition this season in the Super League, one can simply not predict the best players in the league accurately this season. Wani makes this list having 21 tackles, 39 interceptions, 3 blocks, 6 clean sheets, and 14 goals against in just 18 games, with an efficiency rating of 12.1. At 3rd, we have Zoe from Benfica, one of the most consistent center backs in the league who has played a huge hand in Benfica's success this season so far. Benfica, known for their solid defense, it comes at no surprise to see this man on the list with an impressive 20 tackles, 40 interceptions, 2 blocks, 10 clean sheets, and 16 goals against in 18 impressive games. Zoe will be looking to maintain his form in the second half of the season. At 2nd, we have Ortiz from Leeds again, another solid center back who played with me in the PCN World Cup, and he is an absolute brick wall at the back. And with Leeds being only 8th in the league table, it's pretty clear their defense has been carrying the team so far, and they will be looking on to their offensive players for help to push for the title or a top 4 finish in the remaining games of the season. Ortiz makes this list with an impressive 12 tackles, 44 interceptions, 6 blocks, 7 clean sheets, 8 goals against in just 13 games with a total of 14.2 efficiency rating. At first, we have, I think, one of the best versatile players in the league, the one man we all dream about, the ever thick Classy. The thickest player in PCN tops the list with 28 tackles, 28 interceptions, 3 blocks, 10 clean sheets, 9 goals against in only 14 games, equaling an efficiency rating of 14.7. I've played with Classy and against him, and this man is an absolute beast wherever you put him on the field, and Benfica is one lucky team to have this man wear their shirt. And that concludes the top 5 center backs. Now let's move on to the top 5 defensive mids in the league so far. The formula we used to distinguish this list was 0.1 point per goal, 0.1 point per assist, 0.4 point per passing percentage, 0.4 point per tackle, and 0.4 per interception, and each possession won is equal to a full point. 0.25 point per clean sheet. However, 0.75 points were taken away for each possession loss, and 0.25 points are subtracted as well for each goals conceded. At 5th, we have Assad from LAFC, in my opinion one of the most underappreciated defensive mids in the league, but he's done a fantastic job this season to prove a point that he is possibly up there with the best, with quite impressive stats of 2 assists, 80% passing accuracy, 28 tackles, 75 interceptions, 86 possession won, 60 possession loss, 3 clean sheets, and 19 goals against in just 18 games, giving him a total of 110.4 points. The 4th best defensive mid in the league goes to Platypus from Monaco, one of the unexpected players I saw leading the stats in this position. And props to him, considering Monaco being 10th in the league table, he has obviously been their standout performer and possibly making a name for himself this season with an impressive 88% passing accuracy, 31 tackles, 69 interceptions, 88 possession won, 67 possession loss, 5 clean sheets, and 14 goals against, giving him a total of 110.7 points. Moving on to the top 3 defensive mids in the Super League, starting with 3rd, unsurprisingly, we have the man that makes you wet when you face him on the field, Lake. Everyone knows he's one of the best and the most consistent defensive mids in the league with an impressive assist to his name, 85% passing accuracy, 33 tackles, 52 interceptions, 81 possession won, 46 possession loss, 6 clean sheets, 14 goals against in just 18 games, giving him a total of 112.6 points. On to number 2, we have, well, you simply cannot mention the best defensive mids in the league without having this name on your lips, CM9. He is having quite an exquisite season so far with 88% passing accuracy, 27 tackles, 57 interceptions, 81 possession won, 34 possession loss, 6 clean sheets, and 14 goals against, giving him a total of 122.3 points. At first, we have Paijan Papi. Some of you may know him as 5'6 Papi, another solid defensive mid who some may have thought has fallen off since his stints from Inter and Atlanta a few seasons back. And well, he's made quite an impressive return to the Super League with LAFC, and I think he might be LAFC's best player this season. And his stats with an assist, 80% passing accuracy, 34 tackles, 71 interceptions, 99 possession won, 61 possession lost, 3 clean sheets, 19 goals against do the talking for him, giving him a total of 123.35 points, putting him first as a top defensive mid in the Super League so far. Well, that covers the defensive mids, so let's move on to our attacking mids. Specifically, we're going to look at the wingers first. The formula we used for the outside mids was each goal is 0.8 point, assist being 0.8 point, key pass is 0.2 point, passing percentage being 0.3 point, a tackle is 0.1 point, interception 0.1 point, possession won 0.1 point, and each possession lost takes away 0.1 point from your total. After crunching in these numbers, coming at 5th, we have Slick Joey from Real Madrid with 32.2 efficiency rating, as his impressive stats of a goal, 4 assists, 13 key passes, 79% passing accuracy, while also maintaining solid defensive stats, put him at 5th. At fourth, we have representing Ajax, Mapes. With an efficiency rating of 32.5 points, he's got 3 goals, 2 assists, 10 key passes, and 83% passing accuracy to his name, and just edges Joey to clinch the spot for the 4th best outside mid in the league so far. Moving on to the top 3, starting at third, we have Cage from Benfica, one player that defenders have not been able to lock in their cages through an impressive stats of 2 goals, 5 assists, 12 key passes, and 86% passing accuracy, giving him a total of 32.6 efficiency rating. Well done to Cage. At second, we have repping Orlando, Dust, with a rating of 35.2 through an impressive 8 goals, 3 assists, 21 key passes, and 78% passing accuracy. Comes at no surprise for him to clinch the 2nd best outside mid spot in the league at the halfway mark. The highest rated outside mid in the league, to no one's surprise, is none other than the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, Schmerda, clinching his spot as the finest outside mid in the league once again with 5 goals, 7 assists, 21 key passes, and 84% passing accuracy. Welcome back, Schmerda, and it's no surprise to see the 2 best outside mids in the league so far coming from Orlando. Now let's move on to our central attacking mids. There was a clear winner here by far. I think you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. I didn't even need to make a list of 5 players in this category. I just had to pick out the 2 and compare them because the winner was just so obvious. So let's take a look at the 2 most efficient cams in the league. At second, we have Goatless coming from Real Madrid with a rating of 39.8 points, having 2 goals, 4 assists, an impressive 89% passing accuracy to his name to take the 2nd best cam in the league at this point. Great work done by Goatless once again, keeping his name as one of the best attacking mids in the league for a couple of seasons now. But now moving on to the most creative player in the league so far, Avols from Orlando with a huge rating of 49 points. He may just be the best player on this entire list so far in the season, coming with 7 goals, 14 assists, 26 key passes, and 81% passing accuracy. It comes at no surprise to see this man lead the Orlando attack and possibly take the Player of the Season award by the time the season ends. Well done to Vols and keep it up. Now on to the strikers. A lot of good strikers this season and very stiff competition. There were 4 strikers that stood out from the rest based on the formula we used. Once again, 1 point per goal, 0.2 point for shot conversion rate, 1 point per assist, 0.1 point for key passes, 0.2 point for passing percentage, and minus 0.1 point for each possession lost. Based on this, the 4th most efficient striker in the league goes out to Eric, leading the Benfica attack with 16 goals, with an impressive shot conversion rate of 44%, 9 assists, 21 key passes, and 75% passing accuracy. Eric walks away with a rating of 33.1, putting him deservingly 4th. Moving on to the 3rd most efficient striker, Frio from Real Madrid with 14 goals, 41% shot conversion, 6 assists, 24 key passes, and 85% passing accuracy, just enough to edge Eric for the 3rd spot with a total of 33.8 points. Real Madrid may be having a bad season, but Frio continues to perform for them and will be hoping for the rest of the team to follow his lead. Now on to number 2, we have surprisingly the center back turned striker, Fuddy, again representing Real Madrid. You would think having 2 of the 3 most efficient strikers in the league, Real Madrid would be up there in the top 6, top 4, but clearly their problem may be within their defense or midfield. Fuddy makes this list with 10 goals, 50% shot conversion rate, higher than anyone else on this list, 7 assists, 14 key passes, and 81% passing accuracy. Well done to Fuddy on his first professional season as a striker, and that too in the Super League with so many good defenders to come up against, and he's done well for himself and his team. Number 1 striker in the league so far comes at no surprise. That is an Orlando player with a total of 36.4 points, leading the list, Kessie, who boasts an astonishing 17 goals, 37% shot conversion rate, 9 assists, 26 key passes, and 79% accuracy. Fantastic job by Kessie at Orlando, and obviously having the likes of Avols, Schmerda, and Dustin having your back, you are bound to lead as one of the best strikers in the league. Well done to all the players that made the list, and here is your final team of the mid-season. At goalkeeper, we have Isma, the center back pairing of Classy, Ortiz, and Zoe, with the DM partnership of Paijan Papi and CM9, and on the flanks you have Shmurda and Dustin, leaving the creativity to Avols as central attacking midfield, who supports his two strikers, Kessie and Fuddy. Well done to all the players that made the list, and best of luck to everyone in the second half of the season. Well guys, that concludes the Super League mid-season review and the team of the mid-season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I promise to release the final review and team of the season much quicker than I did with this one. I learned a lot doing this video, so things should be much quicker and efficient for the final review, which should be out a week or two at the latest after the season ends. Once again, shout out to CM9 for helping me with the player formulas to pick out the best players. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button and follow me on Twitch. The link should be in the description below. And I wish everyone the very best of luck in their remaining games. Anything can happen. Maybe we'll have some changes in the team of the season. Whatever happens, we'll have to wait and find out. And that's me signing off. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you guys very soon. Peace.